What's up, everybody? Dark Cosmic here, back with another astrology video. And right now I want to talk about the Virgo Ascendant sign. So Virgo in the first house, Virgo Rising. This can also be applied to Mercury in the first house as well. You may be able to relate to this. You may not be able to relate to this. But maybe give it a check. Give it a check the video out. Let's just see. Either way, so what I like to do is I go into the 12th house first, so that I can get a better understanding of your subconscious mind, and then after that I go into your first house so that we can see how you are viewed, how you sort of display yourself, and how you are personally. All right, pardon me. So let's go to the 12th house. So what do Virgo Ascendants have in the 12th house? They have Leo in the 12th house. So subconsciously, you guys are very, very self-centered people. Subconsciously, you guys are selfish people. So let me explain self-centered. Self-centered meaning you feel like everything needs to revolve around you. Selfish meaning you don't, you may not want to even entertain the idea of sharing aspects of yourself, whether that's money, your attention, this and that. So you can subconsciously display these traits. Subconsciously, you may be a bully. Subconsciously, you may be prideful. Subconsciously, you may be extremely creative. Subconsciously, you may be extremely proud. Subconsciously, you may be you may draw attention to yourself and don't know why. And people kind of naturally gravitate towards you, and you become the center of attention. But you don't quite know why. This is on a subconscious level. Subconsciously, you can be very insightful. Subconsciously, you have incredible vision in the spiritual realm. You can see bullshit from a mile away. You can see bullshit people. You can see bullshit emotions, expressions within people. Subconsciously, you may be a drama king. Subconsciously, you may be a drama queen. Subconsciously, you may love drama in general. You just entertain drama, or you just like to watch drama shows or cause drama. So, but overall, I would say with Leo in the 12th house, this makes you incredibly proud, stubborn, intelligent when it comes to seeing things for what they are. You have a great ability at seeing things for what they are, and it's very difficult to change your mind about things, subconsciously speaking. So let's go into the first house. So the first house, you guys have Virgo. So with Virgo in your ascendant first house, this makes you appear to be sort of a librarian type of individual, a person that's well put together, a person that doesn't ever have their hair messed up, a person that looks like they've got it all together all the time. Their clothing is spotless. If that's not the case, this is often a theme for you, where people are always pointing this out because they expect you to behave in this manner. They expect you to be clean. They expect you to not look a certain way, not look like you're not put together. So either A, you are doing this, you are a very well put together individual, or B, people point this out to you all the time. Like, what the hell? Why do you got that on your shirt? What are you wearing? You should pull your pants up. This, yada yada yada. Why you got that stain on your shirt? They're always doing this to you, and it makes you feel self-conscious about yourself, because again, you have Leo in the 12th house. So subconsciously, you are very proud and prideful. So these things can hurt your pride. Not looking clean, not being articulate, not being analytical enough, not seeing things for what they are can hurt your pride. So in your personal life, you may be an extremely judgmental person. In your personal life, you may be incredibly good at helping people when it comes to their daily routines, or you may, in your personal life, you have a lot of daily routines that you hold near and dear to your heart. In your personal life, you may be you may be the person that communicates a lot with your family and your friends, but you communicate on a practical level. You're not always just talking about bullshit, like just babbling your brains out, kind of like a Gemini would. No offense to Gemini. You talk a lot, but you talk about useful things. You talk about, hey, this is how you get a job. This is how you do such and such. This is how you take this apart, and da 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 da. You can go on and on and on about these topics because of a practical nature, something that you can apply, and something that you can. And another thing about Virgo is it's about assisting others. It's about helping others. It's the useful sign. And in your personal life, people can find you to be sort of a jerk because you're always poking fun at them and poking out their flaws. Or in your personal life, you have people that poke at your flaws and make fun of you all the time. So let's move to the second house. So in the second house, you guys have Libra. So when it comes to the way you survive, when it comes to your money, when it comes to how you would prefer to receive nourishment, everything in moderation with you guys. You guys don't spend too much. You tend to not spend too much, or if this is not the case, this is how you grew up, where people were always constantly teaching you how to not spend too much. You have a very balanced idea of your money. You have a very balanced perspective when it comes to your survival skills, everything in moderation with you guys. But for the most part, the things that bring you the most comfort are the finer things in life, and even the arts, even beauty. You want to be surrounded by beauty. This helps you to survive. Because like I said, subconsciously, you guys can be creative people. So beauty, in a way, can bring comfort to you. Women can play a great role in your survival. Your mother, sisters, older sisters, because Venus is is a feminine energy, but it's oftentimes an older feminine energy. So whether it could be a mother or an older sister, an aunt, it can be a younger sibling, but more than likely it probably is an older female energy, not a super old energy like a grandma, but more just like teenager and up type of energy. So these people may aid you in your ability to survive. What else? You survive by people pleasing sometimes. What else? Or you've learned to survive you've learned how to get what you want by being a people pleaser. That may be the case as well. So let's go to and also you might be in a field where you're judging the arts in some way, and this is how you survive. Judging a craft, judging something, or analyzing a craft, being the person at the final process of a craft, an artistic craft of some sort, whether that's designing cars or detailing cars, could be a car wash, it could be a painter, whatever. You're at the final process of that, and you're the one that says judgment on whether it's good or not, and you can find a way to survive off of that. Okay, so let's go to the third house. So in the third house, you guys have Scorpio. So when Scorpio comes into the third house, when it comes to your your basically your neighborhood, the city that you grew up in, You can be perceived as a very secretive person. You can be perceived as a very sexual person. You can be perceived as a very manipulative, controlling individual. So let's go back to your ascendant, just being a very judgmental, sharp-tongued, practical individual. So you can be seen as almost a villain in your your neighborhood. You can be seen as a villain in your city. But at the same time, you guys can also be seen as a very helpful, healing individual, and an anchor, emotional anchor for people. In the third house, you might, let me see, when it comes to something to do with the hands, Scorpion is second in the third house. Something to do with the hands turns you on in some way, shape, or form. The hands can be sexualized. Hand jobs, finger, and whatever. Sorry for the vulgar speech, but these type of things may turn you on with having Scorpio there. Gemini rules the hands. Scorpio is a sexual energy, so the hands can be something that stimulates you in that way. What else? You guys, this also makes a very extremely investigative mind, and also an individual that has a great capacity of absorbing an immense amount of knowledge, not wisdom, but knowledge and information, and really be fixated on that. So you can be quite a know-it-all as well, and actually have deep domain knowledge. Deep domain knowledge on the topic at hand. People might be afraid of you. Might be afraid of the things you know about them, their routines, the things they say. You might be able to destroy people with your words. You might be able to get revenge just off of the things you say. Okay, so let's go to. Also, you might like to have a lot of sex you don't like to travel too far to have sex. You like sex to be close, neighborhood type of thing, because it's practical. It makes sense to not have to travel long distances in order to find a sexual partner in any kind of way. So let's go to the fourth house. In the fourth house, you guys have Sagittarius. So in the home, you guys can be seen as incredibly wise, incredibly happy-go-lucky, almost an airhead sometimes. But you can also be seen as dogmatic and preachy in the home. This goes back to your ascendant, being an analytical person, judgmental person. You can come off in your surroundings. It gives you that Sagittarius energy. So it gives you a light, warm energy, but still you're preachy, still you're dogmatic, still you're trying to force your views down somebody's throat, regardless. You have all these placements because you have a Virgo Ascendant. But this doesn't mean you're an idiot. So again, in your home, even though you are like that, you may be viewed as that. You can still be viewed as somebody that's really wise, and still somebody that's very, very lovable regardless, because the Sagittarius, and they know you. They're like, oh, that's just him. He's always telling you, trying to teach you something, or, trying to force some information down your throat. But we love them regardless, because Sagittarius is a very lovable sign regardless of that. So when it comes to your family, they've gotten used to you being like that, and they love you still. In the home life, you like to keep things, you like to take it easy. You don't really like to stress too much. So in your home life, people see a side of you that's a little more easygoing, still preachy, still can be dogmatic, but a lot more easygoing than people would perceive you to be. So what else? There was a lot of books in your house, or your mother could have traveled a lot. Your mother can be very wise as well. Or they just your home is just filled with all traveling, all these things that people collected from their travels. or your home is full of strange people. So let's go to the 5th house. The 5th house, you guys have Capricorn. So with Capricorn in your 5th house, what satisfies you guys, what entertains you guys is work. You guys like to get to work. You guys don't want to just sit on your ass and do absolutely nothing. You guys have to go to work. What entertains you guys is getting this money, making paper, and rising to the top. What satisfies you guys, what not satisfied, but what entertains you guys is things that involve these things, like things that are all about status, getting that nice car, knowing that you worked hard to get that nice car, knowing that your car is better than your neighbor's car because you worked so hard, and now look what you're at, and look, neighbor is trash. Like, look, I got this nice car. I really work hard for this. You know, it's not hating like because you're lucky to get it. It's knowing that you worked your ass off to get that, and sitting and, you know, smoking a cigar and be like, yeah, I did my shit to get this. So what else? When it comes to your children, you might employ your children. You won't allow your children to be lazy people. You'll find a job for them. The person that can be a romantic partner for you, or somebody that you might fall in love with, is the type that has a business, the entrepreneurial type, the type that's about big business, about making money as well. That's romantic to you. Practical things. Somebody that also has the taste for the finer things in life and wants to be seen like that. Okay, so let's go to the 6th house. The 6th house, you guys have Aquarius. So when it comes to your daily routines and your it could be your job, it could be I guess your health. In regards to your health, you might overthink a lot. Aquarius is an air sign. It's about thinking, but it's about fixed thinking. You might be fixated on a certain thing for too long, and this can affect your health. Overthinking things and thinking about a certain thing too much for too long. It goes back to the 3rd house, having Scorpio. They're very fixated on and having this in-depth amount of knowledge. Now, this can make you sick. So this can actually make you sick, affect your mental. So watch out for that. What else? But in your work environment, you probably are seen as a very unique individual. In your work environment, you are seen as somebody that ushers in the future, brings up, always creating new ways to do things. In your work environment, you probably have a lot of friends. You make a lot of friends there because you have the water bearer energy. So you bring a lot of nourishment and knowledge to your work environment, and you also bring a unique perspective there, because your work, Virgo is all about perfecting things and advancing things. You know, it's practical energy. So it's like, how can I make this thing better and work in the real world? So you do that in your work environment. You help things run better and smoother, and you create new ways to do that. What else? So, and this is a place where you probably have a lot of associates that enjoy your company, or they probably think, again, back to being a know-it-all, because Aquarius has that know-it-all energy as well as the scientist. It's the ego, but it's the mental ego. You see, Leo's the opposite of Aquarius. They think they're the best because deep in their heart they feel like they are the greatest, regardless of what the fuck you say. Aquarius thinks they're the best just because of what they have in their head. They think they just can outdo you, outsmart you, no matter what. So it's a different type of ego. It's the other side of the coin, the head and heart. So, but yeah, they might think you egotistically think you're better. You're smarter than everybody all the time at your work. So let's go to the 7th house. So the 7th house, you guys have Pisces. So when it comes to your partner, because you guys are so uptight, because you guys are such basically a tight ass, you may need a partner that isn't like that. a partner that's a lot more easygoing, a partner that's a lot more about love and peace and, zen, man. Chill out, man. Chill out, bro. Don't gotta work all the time, bro. Come hit this blunt. You might need a partner that's like that to balance you out, because you become a workaholic, a know-it-all, this and that, and you need to escape sometimes. You need somebody that's not about that shit. That might be, so although you might have a partner, it might be a romantic interest for you to find somebody that's also business-minded and all that, but you might want somebody that has those traits, but that is more creative, artistic, loving, and free, a little more free spirit. So kind of like a free spirit type that's also about business. A business person within the arts, a business person within the healing and healing arts. So that might be the perfect fit for you. Somebody that's a little more free flowing, but still has a business mind. So your friends might be a hot mess, to be honest. Your friends might be too hippie-like, too carefree, and you're always the one that's trying to get their shit together, help them get their shit together. If not, you are surrounded by just very helpful friends, very loving friends that are there for you emotionally, and you might not like that all the time, but they're there for you emotionally. Because Pisces is not really about practically helping you, they're more about being there for you emotionally. and spiritually and philosophically, they're there for you. They can tell you good things. They can send you good, positive energy. They can uplift your spirits, which you can't calculate that. There's no way to practically grasp that type of ability that Pisces has, but they do have that. So, and when it comes to your business, when it comes to business associations and business partners, you probably run into a lot of more easygoing partners as well, because again, you're having such a bossy, analytical, overachieving, mental superiority personality. You might run into a lot of softies, because you might run into a lot of people that can't really outthink you, and that's why you're running to people. It's not really that there's nobody out there that can outthink you. You just tend to run into that type more than often than not. You run into people that aren't smarter than you, so you're naturally going to be surrounded by that type of energy. So let's go to the 8th house. The 8th house, you guys have Aries. So when it comes to sex, and when it comes to other people's possessions, when it comes to life and death, you don't like to get stuck on the death of somebody. If somebody dies, you don't like to get too down about it. You are capable of moving on very quickly. It'll hurt the first, because Aries is still a passionate sign, but it's about expressing and then letting go in that moment. It's not about harboring on things. Aries is not really known for holding grudges. That's Scorpio. Aries is motivation, and Scorpio is deep, dark motivation. So what else? So when it comes to sex, you guys are you guys enjoy passionate sex. You guys enjoy, if you're a girl, you prefer tough guys, rough and tough guys. If you're a guy, you prefer girls that are a little more aggressive in the bedroom. What else? When it comes to other people's possessions, you guys may be seen as a dictator of some sort, a general type energy, and you probably often have the ability to force people to give you things, or you get possessions from the masculine figures in your life provide you possessions and leave you things. Like your father may have left you some assets, or an older brother somehow, some way has left you assets. What else? But having Aries here as well, it means that your motivations aren't that deep. Your deep motivations, you're very passionate about things, but oftentimes it's not really that deep. Okay, so let's go to the 9th house. So when you have Taurus in your 9th house, this makes you the things that you like to acquire wisdom and knowledge on are the finer things in life, and real life, basically. And you rather acquire knowledge and wisdom on things about how to survive in the world, like how do I make a fire, how do I build a house, how do I sustain myself for the longevity, how do I invest in real estate, how do I do that. This is the wisdom and knowledge you like to have. The wisdom and knowledge you may have received has been probably from an older woman of some sort, maybe a grandmother, or your mother has taught you about real estate. Your mother had taught you how to invest, how to save for a rainy day, this and that. This is the wisdom and knowledge that you contain, or this is the wisdom and knowledge that people bring to you often. Wisdom and knowledge comes from a feminine energy. See, you might be very stubborn. You are very stubborn when it comes to the things that you know. Extremely stubborn. The most stubborn, because Taurus is the most stubborn sign. So you are incredibly stubborn when it comes to the wisdom and philosophy that you know, that you have acquired. When it comes to traveling, you might want to travel to places that have a lot of beauty to them, earthy feels, beautiful gardens, the beautiful stuff outdoors that has to do with. Sorry about that. Whenever you're in the middle of something, it seems the phone likes to ring. But I'm gonna leave it at that when it comes to the 9th house. I think I was gonna say something about traveling. Basically, you want to travel where there's beauty, and wisdom and knowledge on surviving. So the next placement is Gemini in the 10th house. So with this placement, you are, when it comes to you rising to the top, when it comes to your status, you want to be seen as somebody that has a vast amount of information. You are probably seen as somebody that's really youthful as well, and full of life and excitement when it comes to this aspect of yourself. When it comes to reporting things, providing information, you are full of life and capable of going above and beyond than other people, because this brings excitement to you. When it comes to your status, you may be seen as a reporter, you may be seen as a writer, you may be seen as somebody, just a messenger in general. You may be seen as somebody that's artistic and really talented with your hands and really detail oriented. May be seen as somebody that is a jack of all trades and just good at everything, because you had to be, because you're such an analytical person and you're always learning. But yeah, overall, I'd say when it comes to your status, you are just seen as a knowledgeable person. Knowledge, not wise, but knowledgeable. Doesn't mean you don't have experiences, but you seem to just know a lot about a lot of stuff. So let's go to the 11th house. So in the 11th house, you guys have Cancer. So with Cancer in the 11th house, you guys may be seen as, sorry about that again, So Cancer in the 11th house makes you probably have best friends that are Cancers. Your best friends are probably just really caring people, caring and loving and family-oriented individuals. The groups and organizations that you join are groups that care, that deeply care about things. Groups that are about home values. This is like, and you guys might not like this, but this is the groups that you guys may join are more Republican rather than Democrat. Some of you guys might not be Republican, but this is big Republican energy. This is conservative type of groups that are more about the home and the family, and about sustaining, about the old ways, the practical ways, practical things that work. What else? And if it's not Republican, just maybe you join a group that's about parents that want to help kids in some way, or parents that unite to make sure their kids are being taught the right things in schools. Groups that are about building beautiful homes. Community watch groups, whatever, because you guys are analytical. But yeah, that's all. I'll leave that when it comes to the 11th house. I'll stop right there, and I'm gonna go to the 12th house again, just to come full circle. You guys are very passionate, stubborn, and prideful people in your subconscious mind. So you may not be aware of this when you're doing that, though. That's what I forgot to say. The 12th house is about things that you may not be aware of. So you might not be aware that you are extremely stubborn, prideful, bullying, but also you might not be aware that you're really creative, that you're very passionate, that you're very proud, that you can be the center of attention a lot of times, for good or bad. So this has been my Virgo Rising, Ascendant, first house video. If you guys enjoyed the video, comment below. You guys take care.